Hey, good morning, folks. How you doing? Story Trading VIP. By the way, if you're watching this on, well, let's get the right one up. Here we go. All right. If you're not a VIP and you want to become a VIP, you can do that over at storytrading.com. We got a 7-day risk-free trial. You get good stuff like CEO interviews, which we're doing today, 11 a.m. with the Air CEO. But first, jobs numbers comes out strong. It was in the 260s versus 250K expectation, and that caused the market to go down. Now, I was listening to Bloomberg Radio on my way over to the office, and I heard the consensus from a few different guests where that this just keeps us where we're at, right? 75 basis point increase next, CPI coming next week. So really no change in the outlook, but for the bulls who are hoping for a pivot, that may be off the table. Now, there was actually some good information in the jobs report in that wages were not going higher. So that's an interesting piece of data in there. Who knows? Can we bounce back from this? Can the Bulls be like, hey, that's good? Man, I don't like to see this. I was hoping to test that 20 DMA on the SPY. So we'll have to see if this bull bear market rally is still in play or if it's going to get derailed. You can see here confirmation on bonds, bonds selling off and interest rates going up. That's UUP, proxy for interest rates, TLT, or proxy for bonds. So this is confirming that people are thinking the interest rates are going to go higher. Expectations for a higher terminal rate. Now, oil continues to hold its gains with the economy still being strong. So that's not taking a hit this morning. Unfortunately, uranium didn't participate with oil yesterday. It was down, but we're continuing to watch that. There was actually an article posted in one of the rooms in our VIP trading room last night, an article that hadn't made it into US media yet about some sort of effort to ban the imports of uranium, ban the exports of uranium from Russia. Imports. So take a look at the details on that. Maybe if that trickles into the US media, that will be good for uranium. Okay, so before we get into some specific stocks, I want to talk cannabis. Yesterday, all the cannabis stocks, Tilray and all the rest of them, you can see here CGC, MJ. There should be a few others here. You can scroll down and find some other ones. Did pretty well, up significantly. You can see it right here because at first, if I had better information, I would jumped on it real quick. But everyone on social media, they were talking about, oh, Biden is letting these people go who are convicted of simple possession, right? Is like waiving their convictions or whatever it is, amnesty for them. So I'm like, all right, that's just a sentiment related move. Like, who cares? Like a few thousand retroactive. Anyway, we know it's becoming legal in the future. It was weird that it was moving so much on that, and I thought, I'm not chasing this. This is just sentiment. Later, as I independently I read the articles, I'm like, wait a second, people are not focusing on the right thing. The right thing to focus on is that Biden wants the schedule to be looked at again, right? Cannabis is Schedule 1. He's saying, hey, it shouldn't be Schedule 1. It should be a different schedule. That has huge ramifications for cannabis companies being able to sell this and their TAM basically, and the decreasing the friction in being able to sell this. So that's a huge deal. And Christopher community pointed out, hey, here's an ETF you can look at, MSOS, if you want to invest in the cannabis space without getting into the specific tickers. And the point he made, which I agree with, is that this could be something that can kind of be a multi-period runner and maybe something you want to buy on pullbacks. I wouldn't chase, but maybe you want to buy this on pullbacks because this is unexpected information to change the schedule on this from Schedule 1 to something else that would be more amenable to expanding the TAM and legalizing this. That's a huge deal for the cannabis industry. So perhaps there's an opportunity there. It's interesting. Tilray is down this morning. MSOS is up. Maybe related. Tilray had earnings this morning. So I'm not an expert in this space at all. Let me see what else might be up. Well, that's interesting. all of the individual names are down. How is MSOS up? I really don't know. That's very interesting. But yeah, I'm not an expert in the cannabis space. Let's see if we can pull out the portfolio, what their holdings are. No, don't know what their holdings are. So cannabis ETF. In any case, the idea here is that this is significant information that impacts the fundamentals, and it may be something you can buy on pullbacks. Now, the other thing I want to bring up first before we get into AEHR and RELL is if the market stays down today, right? If it doesn't reverse, if it stays down, I'm going to have RUM on high watch, all right, to buy the dips, because the history has been these meme stocks, especially the politically related meme stocks, the Trump stocks, tend to do better on red days. Okay, it's like it's almost trades as a hedge for whatever reason. I have my theories why that happens, but without getting into that psychology, this is something that I'm going to look towards on red days, look towards in terms of opportunities to trade to the upside. So that's on my radar, high on my radar today. Now, AIR earnings came out yesterday. You can see it's up 7% in pre-market. It's pulled back with the market over here. It was up more significantly on a top and bottom line beat. Now, look at the resistance here at the 1550 level. So it definitely got caught up in that resistance over here from a few days ago and pulling back now. I don't think the report itself was so like something that would, because there's already premium in the stock. I don't think the report itself was something that should cause a big move in the stock, but the comments perhaps, right? Now you have the complexity of the market being bad, so you don't know 50-day moving average. But the commentary was very bullish. I think there was additional new information in the commentary about new deals and the progress and the status of new deals, which wasn't in the press release, which could be good for the company. So I have a bunch of really good questions. We're lining up for Air CEO in just 2 hours here at 11 a.m. So make sure you tune into that. The Zoom link is in the me and VIP room, so you can join us at 11 a.m. to give us an edge on what could happen there. So that's the story with Air. It's all going to be about the forward-looking commentary at this point. Really, I don't think the published numbers, the top and bottom line beat, is enough to cause it to go up. All right. Other thing, RELL, we just nailed RELL yesterday. So if you were on our show last night or picked up the chat in the chat room early in the morning and you followed me on that, congratulations. I got in at 1653, almost the low of the day, and I did well on it. I still have a little bit of shares, but I captured most of this move. I think twice during the day I had to buy back higher, but only did so by a few cents. So I didn't miss much of this move from 1653 all the way to 19. So that was awesome fun. I gave some of it back trading EAR, which was probably ill-advised. Always better to focus on the names we know best, especially like if I mention a stock that's part of our VIP like presentations that we know well, you can bet my analysis of it will be much better than a stock that I never heard of before. But I tend to do both, right? I talk about them both. I can't help it. If there's some opportunity out there that looks good, I'll also jump on it. But the results speak for themselves. If you know the fundamentals, that's why it's story trading, right? You understand the fundamentals and the catalyst. You understand all that better. You can make much better bets on the direction where the stock is going. So we got we got RELL completely right yesterday because we really understand the sentiment as well in RELL and what changed the sentiment. I talked about it yesterday morning a little bit, but EAR, we didn't totally understand the fundamentals. EAR, we jumped on the headline catalyst and that didn't work out. So just keep that in mind. There are higher risk and lower risk plays in our community. When we know the stock really well, consider it lower risk. When it's a name foreign to our community or that we haven't done as much research in, consider it higher risk, okay? But I will definitely continue to try to play both. Now, will it continue? So yesterday we called 18 to 20 was the level I was looking for. And wow, it got there really fast. I didn't necessarily expect it to get there in one day. I thought it could take a couple days to get to the 18 to 20 range. Now, I was looking at the chart in more detail yesterday in our collaborative session, which you can't do in this 5-year chart. But the all-time chart, This is right against key resistance levels here in the low 19s. And if it breaks it, the next level is about $22, which is the all-time high, right? So with these fundamentals, with these prints we got and the change in sentiment, I think it's definitely in play for RELL to see the low 20s. Now, we probably won't go straight there, but you never know. Okay, so I am definitely interested in continuing to look at this closely and buy pullbacks. Now, if the market continues to be down today, we may get lucky. We might get a sharp drop here at the open. The bid doesn't really reflect that yet, 1881. But if we get a sharp drop in the open, I may enter RELL. So watch RELL for continuation. Now, the other one, KMPH, I found an article and I posted it on Daily Mail about ADHD drugs, which are in short supply from all of the suppliers of the made ADHD drugs. So that could be very good for KMPH. And who knows, it may be what's driving their weekly scripts hitting new records every week. And I guess new weekly numbers come out later this morning. That's something to look at, bouncing off the 50 DMA. So you have technical support. Plus, do you have this catalyst? The question is, this article I found, how well known is that? How well has that been circulated? I haven't checked social media to know, how old that report is and how much it's infiltrated and how many people know about it. If that's incrementally new information that's just hitting overnight and this morning, that could be a catalyst that when you combine with these technicals here and maybe combine with another week of record scripts, consider that fundamentals. Now you start handicapping the odds of, are you going to hold this 50 DMA and challenge at 20 and keep moving up? So that's the way I look at these things from a story trading perspective. So keep an eye on KMPH. And if you have time to do your own research on that article, whether that's incrementally new information or not, or if it directly helps KMPH or not, that's something. So we're continuing to look here at BTU trade of the week for our Wolf Financial space, holding up pretty nicely after a few days of gains. COMM, we had Chris Tarbert on in the community yesterday. This is a false number here. It's not really 1083. 1125 by 1159. So COMM and Clearfield, really recession-proof stocks over here. If you want to partake in these ideas, COMM $17 price target from Credit Suisse. DRIO, man, unbelievable. This stock, look at this. I mean, there's no volume here, really. Well, 3,000. But this stock has been up 12 out of 13 days for a 47% move off the bottom, which I called almost to the penny here on September 20th, on the morning of September 20th, after speaking to the CEO. Look at this, just one red day. I can't tell you it's going to go up again today. Come on, I mean, that's asking a lot, but who knows? Maybe it will. At this point, you got to watch the RSI at 68. So technically starting to become a little bit overbought, but it's also at a critical resistance here at the 20-week moving average if it breaks above it. So this is what I say. I was looking at this last night. I think that if we do get a significant catalyst next, which we're hoping will be like Aetna deal or something like that, whatever that next significant catalyst is, I think your technical resistance is going to be in the 770. You can see these two candles at 769, 770 range to the 50 DMA, which is 812 and declining. Now, by the time we get there, that 50 DMA might be right at 770, right? But, a catalyst at this point, you'd figure it's going to break that 20 DMA and challenge those levels there. Now, if there's no catalyst yet, right, maybe we see resistance right here, right where we are at, okay? Maybe this is where we see some resistance today, especially if the market is down. So you really don't know which way it's going to go because you don't know what the market's going to do the rest of the day today, and we don't know when that catalyst is going to hit, but those are your targets. If it does end up going down the rest of the day, the market, and if there is no catalyst, perhaps we have a short-term peak in DRIO, and if we do get a catalyst any day, then looking for 770, which is a big move off the 549 close, okay, yesterday. So there's still a lot of room to the upside on a catalyst here. So definitely encouraged by the price action on DRIO. All right, there's one other stock I want to mention as a high risk play because I don't know the fundamentals well, right? So be careful. And that stock is SPRC. Okay, SPRC. This is a stock a peer told me about, a peer who I respect on Twitter, not in our community, who helped do due diligence, not necessarily help, but he was on the same page with me when doing the Kodak due diligence. Very smart guy. So he said, hey, check out SPRC. I think this is getting ready to pop. The float is really, really low. Look at that. 3.5 million shares, market cap 3.38 million. You can see on the news there's been some big catalysts recently. They bought some company out for $20 million. I don't know where they got that cash from. But he said there's also, I guess they have some cash. I don't know. He said there's also buyback possible pending. But in any case, I can't vouch for the fundamentals. I don't know if there's going to be some sort of offering or anything like that. So something like this, definitely very risky when our community hasn't vetted it. But technically, it's at a spot combined with that low share count and market cap where if it breaks through this 50 DMA, you could see a big move, maybe to like $1.40-ish, the previous high on this spike over here, $1.45. Now, 2 big volume days here, both came on days where they had news catalysts, right? So don't get your hopes up. Is it going to go up just because, because it's approaching this 50 DMA and maybe some people are hearing about it? Possible, but always better to have a catalyst to spark that move. But I did get a position late yesterday and definitely high risk because, again, we haven't vetted the fundamentals. So you can consider that if you'd like. All right, so that's all I got for it today. We have the AIR interview at 11 a.m. I'm going to spend the next hour or so fine-tuning my questions for Mr. Gain Erickson. Rum, top of the list for me to watch for a trade if markets do not turn around. And RELL, really top of the list for me. Again, if markets open sharply down and we get a big correction in RELL, I'm really hoping for that. I will pile into a big correction for RELL. Where's their support lines here? Maybe here. The previous break here was like 1812. Maybe we'll get lucky and we get 1812. I don't know. Very strong action yesterday. All right. Good luck, guys. I'll see you soon at 11 o'clock for the AIR CEO interview.